and welcome back, my fellow Aeternians. As always, it's me, Emperor AP. Today, we are doing an underground shelter build. So, most of you guys don't know because I haven't revealed it yet, but we have the potential to purchase land soon. An incredibly exciting endeavor. And that being the case, I have started to mess around with ideas for shelters. This, of course, isn't our land. This is a friend in the United States land, but I am allowed to use their land to kind of mess around and test a few things out. So my first idea for shelter for land that we would attempt to get would be an underground shelter. It's really easy to insulate from the cold, which is nice. And as well, it requires the least amount of building materials. You still need frames and stuff to support it, but it would be the nicest thing for us to set up most immediately on our land without having power or water or anything like that. So we're definitely going to try this out. Again, this is just a test. This isn't on our land, but this is something that we're going to attempt to build for designs for our land in the future. Elijah said hello. It's good to see you, Elijah. Mackie said hi. Galania said hi. And Gorth said hi. It's great that everybody's hanging out with us. Again, today's going to be kind of an active stream. But I did want to talk to you guys while let me know what you think about the idea of micronations living in underground shelters. Again, I'm going to be trying to design this in a way that would be possible to use and to start creating very simply on our land once we get it. We have the possibility to get land in the very near future, so this is something that's pretty exciting for us. Things are actually in development for that now, and what we are trying to do here is to do all the grunt work up front so that I know the design I want in building the shelter. It doesn't look super deep as of right now, but it is, it's almost up to my waist, getting close here at the top. And I like this design because it's very similar to the plot of land we're looking at, where it has kind of a slight slope to it. So uh, the benefit of this is that it will allow us, as we carve further and further, to actually get a level of depth without doing too much extra work. So it'll be pretty nice to see the full development of it. But this will allow us, again, that nice insulation and nice, easy initial development to do something more complex. As well, because we probably won't have a ton of land initially, this will be nice because it still allows us to use our topsoil and still allows us to plant crops or have active areas for citizen meetings and things like that, for a fire pit or something, out here on the outside, while still having our nice shelters in the inside, not disturbing the land too much. Ooh. Galani says it could be a relic of micronational times when you're an actual nation. Well, we do identify as an actual nation. We consider ourselves to be just actively pursuing recognition for independence. So we are a nation. We are just seeking to be recognized as that by others. Gorth says underground micronations. Absolutely. And not even underground micronations. Like our whole society is an underground. It would just be that we would use this idea to maximize the benefit for our citizens on the small land that we have. Um, Galani says, but it's still same energy as online micronations, but it's still physical. I get it. Again, and I hope that as this progresses over time, we can continue to see the progress of it so that it feels more sustained for you, so it feels more practical. But that is the hope. Gorth says, you can have flags that are all micronations that are in your streams. It can be in like an online meeting place or something. Very cool. I definitely agree. I think the thing that's interesting, we're actually starting um, a Ko-Fi campaign. It's kind of like Indiegogo or GoFundMe or something. But Indiegogo and GoFundMe, what is it? Kickstarter has like a specific, like all or nothing. Like if you want to raise money on Kickstarter, you have to you have to reach your goal. Otherwise, you don't get any of the money. Indiegogo has weird stuff as well with that. Like they have like a time limit deadline really hard. GoFundMe has like limitations because you can't make tiers and stuff. Like you can't give away like awards and prizes for different tier levels that people purchase. But we are starting a Ko-Fi campaign, which will allow us to do a lot of cool stuff to offer you guys rewards if you want to help us with our land purchase. We have been trying to do land purchase funding for a long time, but this is different because we are actually getting the land now. So we're moving forward with a land purchase, and what we're going to be doing is raising money to help improve the foundations of that. So we're going to need electricity out there. We're going to need to dig a well out there and have water. There's going to be a lot of different stuff that we have to build. We're going to have to put a driveway out. There's going to be a ton of stuff that we will need to do on our land once our purchase is finalized. So we're about to start launching that big campaign on Ko-Fi to get, or coffee or whatever, to get more of that funding from you all. So if there are things that you would be interested in to, that you would feel are a worthwhile investment for your money to help us out and grow, let us know. I want to start, one of the things I want to do is to have flags, different nations' flags on our land that can kind of be shown off. So that's potentially one tier where if you donate, maybe $50 or $75 or something like that, you can get a little small flag stuck on our land and with a whole bunch of others kind of show support for us to get this far. A similar thing with as well eventually getting tickets to come and visit Aeternian land and to potentially stay on Aeternian land. Not to be a resident, you'd have to be a citizen to be a resident, but potentially like overnight stays for people for visitation and stuff. We definitely want to offer tickets for things like that and the potential to come and see our grand opening and stuff. So this will certainly be exciting. For now, I'm going to get back to digging, but I'm excited to see everybody's updates. I know I haven't been live in a minute. I've been still working on Christina's video, so it's been hard to kind of parse out time between how much I should dedicate to the channel right now versus how much I should be putting into finalizing Christina's video, and then again the overall video. So it's just taking a minute with school and everything. Delani says, yep, like an online conference. Lazix said, hello. Lazix, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for hanging out. And also, please give it a like. You guys already are at 3 likes, which helps the stream to get out to other people and helps us to spread the word of micronationalism. Gorth says, Gorth has major issues with land. I completely understand. Aeternia has been around for 5 years, and we have had issues with land as well the entire time. Our biggest push has been for our land purchase funding, and now we're finally starting to be able to make that a reality. Galania says, our official name is actually the Federative Dynasty of Galania. Very cool, Galania. Congratulations. It sounds like an interesting governmental design. I would say as well, for anybody that is interested in supporting us and in wanting to help develop our land, we already have the Kingdom of Arcovia who's investing directly, and we hope to help develop things for them that are going to be sincere investments. We want to create something that has a return for them, a benefit. So if you guys have any projects or any things that you would like for your nation to be able to develop, but you don't have land, you don't have the opportunity to do it, let me know. And if you guys can end up helping to invest, we can set up on Ko-Fi a tier that is specifically around that. So again, if your nations are wanting to find some way to invest, find some way to make a little bit of money, please let me know, and we are going to be trying our best to set that up for everybody. And I'm going to get back to digging, so I'm going to set you guys up maybe right here in the forest digging. But let me know what's up with your nations. I have been wanting to catch up with everybody for a long time. I'm not able to be on the Discord as much as I would like to with school and with the land purchase and everything, but I still really care and I miss you guys. So please keep me updated, because every time I see some craziness happen in the community, I want to jump in on it and I want to talk about it, but it's never at a good time for me to do so. Either one, I'm late on it, and then everything passes up, and it's like, oh, well, all this that I would have been talking about is now just irrelevant, or is something where I feel like I don't understand enough about it because I don't have the time to look into it to be able to actually like make a good call out for it. So I want to know what's up in the micronational community. What has been on you guys' minds as leaders of countries? You know, what makes you guys curious about the future of micronationalism? Because again, for a long time for us it was this land purchase, and we're still trying to figure out ways to get it from, we're going to be initially finishing the purchase, the actual buying of the land soon, and then going from that to needing to develop, needing to build structures, houses like this for people to stay on, developing, our lighting, our electricity, our water, our sewage systems, all those details that you don't think about when you're initially trying to purchase land, and then you go, oh no, there's so much stuff that's going to be left to do. It's uh, it's interesting. So I am so fortunate that we've been able to uh, move forward land purchase before we got our full $10,000 from the land purchase fund that we've been trying to develop. But I think the rest of that push is going to go toward the actual development of the land. I see a few big comments here. I want to jump in just a second. I see, ooh, a number of people. Okay. Also, thank you guys for liking and thank you guys for hanging out. Again, I'm digging a big hole in the ground as a design for hopefully what our housing will look like initially on Aeternian land. We should be finishing our land purchase by the end of this month. So by April, we should have something and we can start developing there. But for now, I am using a friend's land to start messing around with the idea for what our ultimate housing will be like. The biggest difficulty is going to be I have to actually go out there and live. So I need to test it out here to make sure, one, it's something I can build relatively quickly within a few days. And then as well, since I'm going to have to live there, I need to make sure it's going to be something comfortable for me to survive in, especially as we go from having nothing out there to then getting electricity, to then getting water. It's going to be a whole big thing. So we're going to have to think about water collection, rain collection until we can get a well dug out there. There's a lot to consider, but I think this is a good start. Let me read some people's comments real quick and then I'll get back to digging. Let's see. Welcome to the Hole podcast where we're in a hole. Galani says Michigan land is expensive. Agreed. Alabama land is also expensive. Galani says not to mention we have huge exclave of it's named the poor nation because of the black and orange color of the flag. I'm sorry to hear that. I think branding is like a big issue. Branding's hard because if something becomes recognizable as something else, you can get turned into a meme really easy, and that does suck. But Gorth, I think if you can define yourself differently, if you can get people hype around your stuff, that may be a running joke, and that's fun. That's fine, but if you can offer cool benefits to people and you can offer things that get people excited, and you just take that on the chin, you go, that's funny, yeah, whatever, huh? Then it allows you to push past it. It allows you to define yourself not by what other people define you as, but what you're actually doing and the progress you're making. So I would say keep it up, because even if people are recognizing your nation for the wrong reasons, they're still recognizing it. When people say, oh, what's the name of that whatever nation, the nation with the flag colors that look like Pornhub or whatever, you'd be like, oh, it's Gorth. Like people will start to stick that in their head. They called it Gorth. And they'll be like, why are they doing that? And then they'll be starting to think about your nation and think about the concept. So even if they're joking about it right now, you may be able to give them a reason soon enough to be taking it really seriously. Grebna and Vanneberna official says, y'all are mostly in America. Grebna and Vanneberna is probably the only country here from Europe. No, not at all. We have actually, if you check out our micronational map, there are a number of nations from Europe that come to visit our streams, and it means a lot. Thank you guys for liking and supporting the videos. It helps, sincerely. And it brings together the community like this. So that way people from Europe don't feel alone when it's a whole bunch of people from North America. People from North America don't feel weird when they get in and it's a whole bunch of European people. So it's perfect. We're all able to come together and share our experiences. Also, thank you guys for 8 likes. Y'all are killing it. Ari says, hello. Hello, Ari. It's good to see you. I missed you in the streams. I hope you're well. You've been staying consistent with our streams, even though our stream schedule hasn't been consistent. I appreciate that. Logic says, my micronation's in Europe too. Hey, congratulations. Maybe I'll tunnel straight to Europe and come and visit you guys. If you tunnel to China, you got to go straight south. So I'm going to go straight down into the center of the earth. And I don't want to burn myself, so instead I'll tunnel kind of at a diagonal and hit Europe. We'll figure this out. Galania says, and we're planning when we're a real nation to make a huge key statue. That sounds cool. Ari says, oh, like your flag. Very cool. Ari says, hello, I haven't been on here for a while. I know it. We haven't streamed for a minute. Galania says it's called Structure of the Key, and it's the future government house of Galania. Very fancy. Grabina says, does anyone have any autonomous zones? Very cool. Galani says there are a lot of British micronations on the map. That is true. There are a number. Gore says, you haven't updated the map for a while. When will you? When I'm not in like as extreme development mode. So I have been. There are some projects that are like super high up on Eternia's priority list that I even haven't been able to get to just because there's been so much opportunity for us, which I've been really fortunate at. But it's also a very, very short time scale that I have to complete it. And some of it is big gambles. Like, I'm about to be purchasing this land that's not this land right here, but I'm about to be purchasing a piece of land for Eternia that is costing me all of my money. Like, I'm straight up gonna go like bankrupt to do it. Not literally bankrupt, but I'm gonna be draining my bank account to zero for like one moment to be able to pay for this land and even borrowing money to pay for this land. So it is a sincere risk for me personally and financially. So all of my time other than going to school has been put into working and trying to purchase this land, and it's a lot. That's why I'm going to be asking you guys for help to develop this, because I'm putting my whole heart and soul into Eternia. I'm going to give literally all of my money to be able to do that. And that's an incredibly large risk for me. That's why I'm going to have to end up living out on that land and developing it in true micronationalist fashion because I won't have another option. This is something that's a big push, and it's going to help me. It's going to help to get my family out of a little bit of a tight bind because at the end of this coming year, my dad's lease on his apartment is going to be up, which means that his rent will increase, and so he may start to get into difficulties paying rent. That all being the case, I want to make sure we have a place to live and to develop and to do well. So um, we have this shot here, but it's at a specific time frame. So things like the micronational map aren't as pressing to me right now. They're important because I want to get them out for you guys. But as of right now, my priority list goes school and work, anything that I need to do for the land purchase, which this I do consider to be part of like doing stuff for the land purchase because I haven't been able to break the news to you guys yet, and I want to do a more official video about it. But there's got to be a lot of content to come to build hype for it. So that's the next one. The next one following is trying to get out the videos for Christina because we covered Dracul in their interview and we tried to cover Christina for a small amount of time on a live stream, but we really didn't get to hammer in on Christina's side of the argument. So I want to be able to bring that up and do her video justice, but it's been taking a lot of editing because my audio quality cut out. You can't hear me speak in the video at all. So I had to go back in and like edit the video with my narration in to explain what we're talking about. So that's been taking quite a long time, but I'm getting close on that one. And then after that will be the final video in the Dracul Psychodia series, where I just give my opinion on it. After that, we'll be doing stuff like the micronational map and updating our Discord, which I've been wanting to do for a while. We need like some auto moderation stuff. There's been a lot. It's legitimately like swamping me, and I am excited to. I am excited to move forward. Um, so multiple things. Ari says, I think I have an autonomous zone. There's a rebellion in my country. They used to be powerful, but now the rebellion's just dead. Ari says, AP, don't buy the land soon. Get enough money for backup. Well, I'm actively doing it. Like, we're already under contract for the land. So that's something I'm already doing, and it's a calculated risk. Like, I'm not doing something that's absolutely... It's wild, because it's a scary situation to be in, but it's not something that I haven't thought through thoroughly. Like, I'll be okay in doing this. It's not like I'm gonna, fall off the face of the earth because I've lost all my money. It's going to be a big risk. I'm also draining the Patreon purchases for Aeternia to do this as well. That's going to help with some of the final closing costs for this. But it was dedicated for the land purchase anyway, so it'll work out well. The calculated part of this, the reason that this is such an important development is because once we do this, we have the opportunity to expand our metal melting business. I guarantee survival and a place for my father, who has been working. Now he's 76, 77 years old, and he needs a place to stay without having to work every day to survive. So that's going to help him a lot, and it'll also help us to save money in the long run, because we've been putting like 80 to 90% of our income combined into paying rent anyway. So this, excuse me, over years and years and years. So this will be something that really does help us to cut costs and to save and to improve. As well, this land that we're purchasing is significantly below market value in our area. So like someone said earlier, land in Michigan's really expensive. Land in Alabama is really expensive as well, and this just happens to be too good a deal to pass up. So we're going ahead and doing it. It's a calculated risk, but we are going to be pushing as hard as we can, because once we do that, we can have citizens live on the land with us. I think there are very few micronations who actually do that, and I want to show that to you all. I want to take things to the next level and really show you what life can be like living full time in a micronation. So that's the attempt. That's what we're going to be doing, is creating a community here in person to help people who may not have the opportunity to get affordable housing through paying rent somewhere. We want to offer sincere help to people, and this is a great way to do that quickly. But thank you for your concern, Ari. If you end up wanting to help us, if you decide, you have any money or any ability to help us out, I want to finish setting up that Ko-fi thing, so that way we can have things going. If you follow us on our Discord, on our Instagram, on our anything, even here, I will be updating on that. Check out our community posts and stuff for updates when we launch that. Grabina says it's hard to manage autonomous zones. Uh, Ooh, Ari says the last time I've been here, a completely different group of people were in the streams, probably due to time zones. I agree. I try and do earlier stuff so that way some of the European people can get in, but it is hard. Glania says best of luck, AP. I'm in the Eastern time zone. Thank you. Diamond says you are muted for 5 hours, 58 minutes, 57 seconds. Dang. Who is? Iron Sharpness says get a flagpole out your flag on make propaganda posters, a Capitol building, play your anthem 3 a.m., make some monuments for tourists to get money, and then go to the UN, make a military, become a nation. That absolutely, that's a great way to like slowly build up the plan. Aeternia is never super interested in the military, but all those other things definitely seem like checkpoints at some point in the list of development. Diamond Coin says, LOL. Galania says it's super hard to do that in a global superpower. Agreed, but we're still going to be pushing for creating something that is unique, that people are excited about, and that helps people locally. That's our big point. We want to make a community that people feel like they have the ability to have disposable income, they have the ability to invest in their future, and hopefully to invest in Aeternia and continue its growth. Diamond says Windows 10 has an update available. Nice. Galania says I may relocate, but it's becoming unlikely as I start to look for cheap land in Galania. Nice. Ari says I use Windows 11. Diamond says if it's so expensive, how did Aperture buy a literal salt mine? That's a great question. Lenny says still has a moderate chance since land here is crazy for just an acre in Michigan. Gorth says Gorth is unofficial land that only I recognize as Gorthian. Nice. Also 9 likes. Thank you guys for helping bump these likes. Y'all are getting us around the world with Aeternia. Y'all are helping to spread the word of what we're doing, and now we're actually like deep diving into this land purchase. Gramina says, hi. Gorth says, Gorthian propaganda will be coming very soon. Iron says, where is the land? It's in Alabama. I don't want to specify too much yet. Eventually, so right now, all of our stuff is connected to our P.O. box, which you guys who have purchased stuff from us may know a little bit about. But we have all of our like actual location stuff based around a PO box right now. Once we have this land purchase and this deed under our belt, I'll just be able to say the address of Aeternia. I'll just be able to be like, it's here, look at it. You guys can send stuff. You guys can come visit if you want. Just because we will have that land set up and developed, and it'll be like ready to go. There will be people living there. So I don't want to give away too much right now just because we're still under contract. But once things pop off, we're going to be going for it. Diamond says, I wonder if someone made a yo-yo micronation. What is that? I'm very curious. Also, thank you guys. 10 likes, 8 views. I'm going to keep digging, but we're going to keep updated with y'all. But yeah, what do you guys think of this idea? What would be like cool perks? Like, if you guys were to support this, what would you want out of it? Right now, I'm already thinking about stuff for MicroCon. We're going to MicroCon this year. We already have it planned. We already have it established. That's going to take some money for me to save up as well. So if you guys end up wanting to donate to help purchase our tickets and stuff, we want stuff developed as well. I've already started developing stuff on the Ko-fi or the coffee or whatever to help out with that. One of the tiers right now already is if you give us, I think it's like $10 or $15 or something. If you donate $10 or $15, you get your name on the name of your nation and a picture of your flag on our table. We're gonna have our table at MicroCon, our booth, and we're gonna be showing it off. So we'll have like a sponsorship area where like it's just a big board that shows off everybody, every nation who has helped us and their names, promoting them at MicroCon at this event that's such a huge thing for micronations. So if you want your nation to get represented at MicroCon, that would be a good way to do it. In addition, we also have a higher tier. I think it's like $25 or something like that to actually be in our speech at MicroCon. We want to give a speech at MicroCon, and at the end, I want to say thank you to everybody who like gets us there, who helps us with the land purchase. So anybody who spends like $25 on our campaign will be able to have their a picture of their flag and their nation's name on a slide at the end when we say thank you to everybody for listening to our speech, and we'll show off your people. Um, Galania says 2,600 for an acre in Michigan, double the cost of an iPhone. Oh, absolutely. Well, and a lot of the time you can't find one single acre. If you can find one single acre, that's nice, but generally people are going to price above that for a single acre. That number that you're probably quoting is something if you're buying large tracts of land. So someone may sell something for 2,600 an acre if they're selling like 30 acres or something. So you still have to buy like a lot of land. South North says, our nation is steadily growing. Congrats, South North. We believe in you. Iron sharpens iron fitness says, what are the laws? So, Aeternia is a firm believer in not developing things until they're necessary for the nation. So there are some things that we pre-prepare, but most things like laws, we generally don't define super hard until there is a necessary reason for it. So we have very few laws. Most things are just by my own word as law. Currently an attorney as the emperor, because we don't have a permanent citizen population. We have, I should correct myself there. We have citizens who are full-time citizens, who are people who help us on Patreon, who are people who participate in our Discord, who participate in events for us, who run our government. But we don't have people who actively live as residents in Aeternia because we don't have our land purchase yet. This is something that should be finalized at the end of the month, and then we can start within the next year looking for people who want to become citizens as residents, which will be an entirely different thing. But those people, as we continue to develop and progress, will need laws created around their benefits and around making sure that they're protected. So we will have certain laws and certain benefits set up for them, but we don't want to establish that at the moment because there's nobody to benefit that from that, and it creates this whole list of laws for people who don't exist as yet. Gravina says, I'm going to go watch Hell's Kitchen. Good luck digging. Thank you. I appreciate it. Right now I'm talking a lot more than digging, but Doggo Warrior says, this quality is as good as the Russian ruble. Hey, I appreciate it. Doggo Warrior says, opinion on sausage smoothies? Sounds gross. Diamond Coin says, Yolo is a fictional city. Very cool. Lonnie says, oh goodness, Russian ruble. Iron says, will there be a church, restaurant, gift store? That's a great question. So I haven't thought of a church specifically. I imagine if we had a group of people who were of a specific religion and they wanted to have a place to worship, sure, that'd be fine. A restaurant, we would absolutely love to start a restaurant. You have to go through like a lot of food safety stuff to do a restaurant, but I think that'd be awesome, especially if we had somebody who enjoyed cooking. The whole point of doing this would be to have very cheap rent at first and then eventually no rent at all for people who are citizens of Aeternia. We're probably going to have a week-by-week basis contract for the people living there. So in Alabama, that's called, I think, an at-will residency or something like that. But you can do that such that you would be able to charge somebody like a weekly rate, kind of more than like a hotel where you would pay every day, but less than like an apartment where you would pay every month. So it would be a weekly payment for the initial first like 2 or 3 citizens that come on the land, and then we would work out, every week if they want to continue that. that gives them the opportunity to always say like, no, I want to leave, but it should be pretty cheap, like rent, and should be easily available and accessible to people. The reason that we want to charge rent initially is to do developments like this. If we can get even, a couple $1,000s over the course of a year, that would help a lot for a lot of the progress we want to make. And then having somebody there who's dedicated to helping us develop means the world. So being able to offer that opportunity to somebody at a price that's really affordable and reasonable allows us to grow. From there, we want to say, okay, nobody actually has to pay rent anymore. There is no rent charge for living in Aeternia. You just have to be a part of Aeternian development and economy. So we would then have people who are running things like restaurants, running things like our metal foundry, running things like our YouTube channel, where those people would all pay tax and give a percentage of the money from their efforts to us to help us grow and develop, but they wouldn't be required to pay rent. They would just simply be dedicating all of their time through that growth and development. That way as well, it doesn't feel it's a job, but it's a job that's an investment for you. The more that you work, the more that you create, the more money that you make. Whereas it's not like a 9 to 5 where even if you're working super, super hard and you're making a lot of money for your employer, that you still get paid the same rate either way. Even if you're making your employer rich, they're still, just paying you the $10 an hour, or $15 an hour, or whatever you make. That being the case, for us, we really want people to feel enthusiastic about that, and that's the direction we're planning on going. So stay tuned for updates on that. Um, Diamond says, "Are you recording on a potato?" Pretty much. Yep. We are out in the middle of the forest, so it may look bad quality, but it looks pretty nice to me. Um, Gore says, "I just realized the Gorthian Alliance and other micronations have bigger economy and stability than Russia." Nice. Glenny says, "I know that show." Ari says, "Worse quality than cheap Android user." Very nice. I am on an Android, but I think it's straight up because we're in the woods. Like, I normally have 5G, but right now, I'm sure because we're in the woods, it's not. 10 viewers, 11 likes. Thank you guys for jumping in. Um, Doggo Warrior says, "What are your actual plans with this? Is this a micronation, a fun side thing? Are you serious?" Well, Doggo, to answer your question, as I said previously, I'm under contract for a land purchase this month. The land purchase should go through at the end of this month, and I should have the land owned by Aeternia, indeed, in a literal deed, like a signed deed, this month. So by April, I should have that. In addition, I am draining my bank account to $0. My checking and my savings account is about to go to zero with additional money borrowed from other people just to be able to purchase the land. So once we do that, I have to live there and survive out there. If you don't think I'm serious about this, you're tripping. Because I'm just about to be surviving out in the wilderness. Now, it's not as extreme as, I'm going to be eating bugs and stuff, but I'll have a car, I'll have a transportation, I'll still have a job, so I'll be making some income, but we won't have electricity out there. We won't have water out there. Those are things that I'm going to have to build and design slowly on my own. I fortunately have a place to stay until I get it suitable for me to survive out there, but me staying in another place until then limits what I can do there. So as quickly as I can, I want to get out on the land and live there full time, which means once I get like rainwater collection set up, once I get like a basic stable food source out there, once I know that I can have enough money to drive back and forth from the store around there and get gas, purchase food for myself, have like a stockpile of canned goods, be able to cook regularly out there, be able to, have a place to go use the bathroom, then I can live there full time, which is what I plan to do over the summer, and send you guys videos very similarly to this one where I can show you the development that's being made over time in Aeternia's land. The next big step is to get somebody else living out there, but I have to build at minimum 2 different small home structures for us to live in. As you can see, I haven't been making a ton of progress on this one as of yet, but it's because I've been hyping this idea to you guys. I'm very serious about this. I'm going into everything right now. I'm going all in on Aeternia. Diamond says, Galania, what show? Iron says, school too, right? Yes, we are. I actively go to school. I'm about to get my degree, actually. I'm super excited. I'm about to get my degree in physics. Galani says, yeah, IDFB. Oh, Fielda says, hello, hello, Fielda, how are you? It's good to see you. Welcome to the channel. If you don't know, I'm Emperor AP. This is the Empire of Aeternia channel. We're developing a country. I actually am just currently purchasing land that we're going to be developing. So stay tuned for that. Fielda says, do you have an emergency alert system? We do not, but that's an interesting thing. Iron says, jail? No, we don't implement jailing of people. That's criminal. You know, if somebody breaks the law in Aeternia, and it's like a severe thing, like if somebody attacked somebody, or if somebody was like doing something that was largely illegal in macronational circumstances, like to the United States, we would just send them to the United States. We would call the authorities in the United States to come and pick those people up. But we're not going to hold someone against their will. That could get us in trouble with the macronational authorities. Hey, Ari said just followed AP on Insta. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I don't post enough on Insta, but I need to. You guys getting those numbers up helps me to feel more encouraged to do that. I also want to get us hype on TikTok. If you guys have TikTok, follow us on TikTok. We're on TikTok. And I want to post more videos there. Once we get 1,000 followers on there, I can start to do TikTok lives, which seem like they're really, really hype. So I'm excited about it. Ari says Samsung reminds me of the old tablets, but oh goodness. Field says, this is so cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for the like. That helps a lot. Gore says, wow. Iron says, I mean like a school in the micronation. Oh, thank you. Yeah, eventually, like once people with kids start showing up, there will be a school in the micronation. I will say, that's a hard thing because you have to pay like accredited teachers. We don't want it to be like some shitty school. We want it to be really good. So we would want to, you know, that goes into being like a multi-million-dollar project. For us to develop a school, we're probably not going to develop a school on the 3.3 acres or whatever that we're about to purchase. But the thing that we're hoping to do is to go instead into um, training classes. So we really want to be able to do things like our forge, and we really want to be able to offer things like video editing and stuff for people to learn as they become residents in Eternia to be able to have a job and work in things that we need immediately. So when people come to Eternia, there won't be a school like where you go into a classroom right now, but there will be job training for people that's going to be actively happening for our initial residents. Eventually, yes, there will probably be a school for school children like you're thinking of, but that would be when we have a residency population of, you know, 50, 100 people, something like that, that warrants that to be a necessity. Until then, if we did have somebody whose children lived in Eternia, we would probably have them go to whatever the nearest local American school is. At a certain point, we would love to be able to transition to an Eternian school, but that's just a multi-million-dollar project. And right now, we can do more with that money. So, thank you. That's a great question. Unslavia says, hello. Diamond says, what do you know about Brazil? Minimal. I want to learn a lot more. Brazil's a very cool place from what I hear. My sister lived in Brazil for some time, and she always sent me beautiful pictures and talked about it, and she loved it. Doggo Warrior says, how is still actually going to work? Is it going to be similar to a hippie commune thing? What is your thought? So I own the land, as this has always been. This is a monarchy. It's an absolute monarchy. I control it 100%. The people who come to live there will be, you know, perfectly at will residents. So again, there will be a week by week period in which they pay rent, at least for these first few citizens, so that we can make some money back from the cost that it's taken us to purchase land. But as we do that, that's the point. We're going to be continuing to transition further and further away from that. You ask if it's like a hippie commune. I wouldn't say that, because a commune is the idea that everybody puts in work and everybody gets out like roughly equal benefit for that. And that's not exactly the case. Communes are certainly a very beneficial way of looking at it, but I feel like we're going to take aspects from different parts of things. We're going to want to have people who are like subcontractors for us, who get percentage benefits from what we do, similarly to how somebody might work in a commune. but we aren't all trying to, perfectly equally divide things. It is not a commune to that extent. It's an intentional community. If you've ever looked up intentional communities, you know, a communes and intentional communities are very similar ideas, but intentional community just doesn't have the same connotation that a commune is. We're all going to be living there. We're all going to have jobs. We're all going to be working to develop. But it's like when people first started like little tiny towns and stuff. They just showed up to a place and started building and developing, and then eventually they incorporated it into a town. We are not seeking to incorporate into the United States as a town. We are instead continuing our own economic development. But that's the idea, is we're going to be trying to benefit off of all the people that live here. Not here specifically. Again, this isn't the land, but when we purchase the land and finalize that, we are going to be benefiting off of the people who live there. And we are going to be taking a percentage of that income and that development to purchase more land and have more citizens be able to live there. We're also going to want to have events to show things off to people and to get people excited about our land. So, and about Aeternia in general, we want to make an impact locally in our community. So the point of developing this small part of Aeternia, this initial step, is to develop our residential community and as well to be able to expand our businesses to make a strong local impact. The whole point of Aeternia is to give benefit, sincere net benefit to the people who participate, such that their lives are more improved, they have a higher quality of life than when they came in initially. We want to provide as many benefits to our citizens as we can, but we have to start making more and more money to do that. So, as quickly as we can, we want to start automating things to make work easier for people so that people have to do less. And then taking the money that we make from the businesses that we're growing and investing that back into our people for things like paying for, their housing eventually to have people who come and work in Aeternia and not have to pay any rent. That means they have to work hard, they have to be good at what they do so that they get accepted for residency in Aeternia. But after that, we want to continue to add perks and benefits to that, such as, starting to in bulk buy people's healthcare, start to have transportation that is created for people, such that, we may have several vehicles that, can shuttle people back and forth and to help to create an environment such that people don't have to come in with a lot of resources in order to make and develop a life that is comfortable in Aeternia. Hey, Iron says, I have a kid. Very cool. So that's the thing that's difficult about it, right? I would say if you had a kid and you were like hype about Eternia, you were like, I want to do Eternia, I would say don't be the first person, right? You have a child, you are somebody who has a lot to risk in doing that. So I wouldn't be the first person, just like, the settlers who went out west. I wouldn't be the first settler out west if I had small children to take care of. But I would say that once you see the benefits, if you see proof that we are developing something that is beneficial, if there is some investment that you want to make that we can return for you to show you a positive improvement in your financial situation, please let us know because we want to build that trust. We want to be something that is proven to be valuable to people. And so that being the case, if we can eventually show that and that seems viable to you, I would love to learn about all the things that would be necessary for someone like you to consider living in Eternia, because we're going to need to think about people with kids. We're going to need to think about situations with people who have elderly people who live with them, people who have people with developmental disabilities who live with them. We're going to need to have people who have, pre-existing health conditions, and how we're going to tackle all different walks of life of people of different religions, of different cultures who try to come to Eternia and live and work and get along. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something we can do overnight. And it's not even something where we can, accommodate every single type of person right away. It may be years before we're able to fully reasonably accommodate people who have small children. But we want to start planning for that now. So anything that you can say, hey, I feel like this is a hole in the plan where I would be skeptical about bringing my kids there. Like, let's keep talking about it. Let's keep understanding that development and where we are in it. Gore says, anyone else imagining AP being like Tarzan? That's the attempt. That's the hope. I'm gonna be out here banging on my chest, screaming about Eternia in front of you guys, acting a fool. Ari says, get an EAS system to alert your people. Very cool. I do think that's smart. I need to get an app. Felda says, do you have a ham radio? You should get a ham radio. Ham radio operator's license. You can talk to people on the International Space Station. I would love to do that. That'd be hype. I think it'd be really cool too, because our citizens on the land could be actively doing that and talking to people in the International Space Station and explaining Aeternia to them. That would be awesome. As well, it would allow us to connect to all other ham radio users on the Earth and start like a little ham radio thing for micronationals. That would be awesome. I would love that. That's a smart idea, Ari. Not Ari, my apologies. Felda, that's an awesome idea, Felda. Iron says, will there be a monument? Yes. So one of the first monuments that we want to create is one to those people who have helped to support us, especially micronations who helped to support us on our Ko-Fi or coffee campaign. We are wanting to create a garden of flags or a garden of nations. Where we have everybody's flag like in a really pretty decoration and design outside that can be seen by everybody who comes to visit us. So eventually we are going to be hosting tours with ticket prices for people to come and check out Aeternia. And when we do that, we are going to want to proudly display all of the people who made that happen. And that's going to be our first monument. So yes, we will have a monument. Galania says, do you plan on being on good terms with the USA? 100%. Diamond says, if there is, name it the Aeternian Glory. That's a good idea. That'll be our second one. The Aeternian Glory. I love it. South North says, I suggest the Baofeng UV5R handheld radio. Very nice. You guys have a lot of interest in ham radios. I'm impressed. Doggo Warrior says, have some people called you crazy for trying this idea? Oh, absolutely. I've talked to people locally, like recently, who have said, this is absolutely bonkers and I don't know why you're doing it. It is interesting, though. Some of the people who have been most supportive have also said that. They're like, this is wild. I've never heard of this. It seems out there, but the way that you're doing it sounds reasonable. Like, the concept of micronationalism, I think, to most people is absolutely wild and is a far stretch of the imagination. But I think when you can show people that you personally, aside from micronationalism, have a concrete plan that you are moving step by step by step to develop a goal, and when you can prove a track record where you have already accomplished some of those steps in your way to achieving that goal, then it brings it down to earth a little bit more for them. They may still say, oh, that's crazy, I wouldn't be a part of that personally, but it at least gives them a higher chance of believing that you will succeed in that and makes them feel more comfortable talking to other people about that, which is a big win. It really, really is. It's hard to convince people of anything just about unless you are good at it and good at marketing and repeating that to people. So especially for something as out there as micronationalism, getting into some people's hearts and minds at all is a wonderful thing to be able to do. Diamond said, what just happened? A voice crack? Probably my voice did crack. Ian says, are you really an empire? Yes, we do consider ourselves an empire. We have citizens all over the world who represent our empire. Glania says, I think a military is needed for self-defense like how Switzerland has an army. I don't think so. As of right now, there's not a necessity for it. We're not getting attacked by anybody. Felda says, this is the coolest thing I've seen all day. I just got citizenship in South North. Hey, congratulations. I'm glad to see. Galania says, leader FT plans on going to college in Switzerland. Hey, congrats. That's very wonderful. Let me know how Swiss college is. I think it's free, right? I know there are a number of colleges and universities in Europe that are 100% free. I thought I knew Switzerland had a national program for something like that. I don't know if it extends to people who are coming from outside of Switzerland. Ella Roach says, recently restarted the Micronational Geographic show. Hey, that's wonderful. I'm glad to see it. How's it been going? Do you feel like you've been making solid progress? I would be curious. Digging out big rocks. Making moves. Digging up worms accidentally. So I gotta get this hatchet sometimes and cut up. I'll show you guys what I'm up to right now. So, all right, here's the hole as of the moment. You can see that there's all these roots that are growing in the ground that I have to kind of just bash out in order to continue to make forward progress in what I'm doing. Sorry if I'm shaking the ground or shaking the camera and causing problems for everybody watching, but I'm actively trying to carve a path out. And then I can set you guys back down. Let me flip the camera. Set you guys back down. Ooh, Iron says, can you at least have a police? Again, why when we pay the US to do that? We have to actively... Also, I went to a children's birthday party and I got a fireman badge. Do you like it? Why would we do that when we have the United States that we actively have to pay taxes to anyway in order to do that? Let's see. Ella Roche says, yeah, we have 2 episodes out now on the channel, which is great in comparison to the first attempt. Congrats. Diamond says, look out while mining straight down. Agreed, I might hit lava. Ella Roche says, I think we'll do 1 season per sector, like how there's a Discord sector, a Reddit sector. Very cool. Season 1 is on Louisiana's Bayou sector. Ooh, what's that? Hit me up. I'm from South Louisiana. I'm from Houma, Louisiana, originally. I'm a Cajun. Gore says, transform the fireman badge into King AP badge. Oh, goodness. Well, good thing I'm not a king then, huh? I am an emperor. But yeah. I do appreciate the grind. And I may make somebody the chief fire marshal in Aeternia. And I will give them this cute badge. Also, 10 views, 10 active viewers, 12 likes. Thank you guys for liking the video. It helps to spread it around the world. We got people from Europe here. We got people from North America. Let's see if we can get some people from Asia, from Africa, from South America. Please hit us up. We want to show you what Aeternia is doing. Thank you guys for supporting us so much. While I dig this huge hole in the ground. Also, it is a beautiful day. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on such a beautiful day. 11 viewers, 13 likes. You guys are killing it right now. South North says, just imagine you accidentally find gold. That happened to me one time while digging for World War II reenactment. Hey, I would love that. I would love to find some cool artifacts. I'd also love to find fossils. That would be awesome. I've always dreamed about finding fossils. I know there are particular areas where they're super common, but theoretically, shouldn't fossils just be like everywhere? Just there's dead stuff everywhere, and once you dig low enough, you should find fossils, right? It's always been interesting to me. But 10 viewers, 13 likes, 11 again. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for your support and helping grow the empire of Aeternia. Right now, I'm trying to break this wall up a little bit. Give us some more space to keep digging. Because right now we're starting to get up to my waist. I will say, that's one of the things. It's a hard thing to determine when to dig out more versus when to dig down more, because either way it's a lot of digging, but sometimes you have to cut down these roots and stuff, which get annoying. Also, huge rocks in the way, which suck to try and dig through. So yeah, you guys are getting to see this live. Also 9 viewers, 10 viewers. Hey, thank you guys. Whew. Ian says, well, you had the flag on the gift shop. So we already have the, oh goodness. We already have the Imperial Market. It is our Etsy shop where we do sell Aeternian items. If you want to purchase something from us to help us out, you can definitely do that. You can check out our website, aeternianempire.wixsite.com/Imperial Market to find that. But in addition, if you Google the Empire of Aeternia, find our website, go to the part that says Imperial Market, or the part that says um, merch, and you can get some of that stuff. We have ingots right now for sale with the Aeternian symbol stamped on them. We have the Unity medal. We used to have the Owl's Mark, but we don't have the Owl's Mark anymore. There's a lot of cool stuff. I recommend you check it out. We haven't done flags because everything that we sell for Aeternia is made and developed in Aeternia, and we don't have a good way to make and develop flags cheaply right now. So if we were to sell flags, they'd be at a really high price, and we don't want to do that to people. So we will eventually get flags on there, but until then, we're doing things that are 100% made in Aeternia. That's the point for helping to develop our land purchase. Ella Roach said, we did one episode which was on Petunia, located in Metairie. Hey, very cool. Episode 2 is on Ella Roach, which is in Livingston. Not sure about episode 5. About episode 3 yet. About 5 Louisiana-based micronations have joined. Hey, congrats. Sorry I just covered the channel. Manu says, what is happening? Right now I'm digging for the initial construction of what an Aeternian underground home may start to look like. We are not doing this as of yet as an official living place for Aeternians. This is just a test demo on some American land. Somebody has allowed me so graciously to use their land to test out this idea. But if I can make a nice small bunker, we are actively going to be developing and purchasing by the end of this month land for the Empire of Aeternia. So I'm going to be turning this idea into reality. If I can make it work here, so I know a little bit more about how I should be doing things, make improvements to the process so that it can be sped up a little quicker, and then we will be having our initial basic residencies established for Aeternia, for our very first Aeternian-owned piece of property. Galania says, once you get to Michigan, hit me up for information on my country. Absolutely. Ella Roach says, of course, the armed forces have been growing to a great extent. We got some star pins. Very cool. Congratulations. South North says, the U.S. state that is the dinosaur state is Montana. Hey, I would love to go to Montana. Galania says, AP, we should recognize each other as sovereign. I mean, we already do, but it would be very cool to have our first recognition, even if it's from a micro country. I respect that, Galania. We should definitely talk about it. The way that Aeternia does stuff is we accept specific treaties under specific terms. So a lot of the time we don't do like declarations of friendship or just in general like recognition treaties. It would have to be something that specifically establishes some kind of economic connection between us or some plan for us to develop something together. But I would love to do that. Ella Roach says we do drills and all that. It's helping the citizens. Very nice. Mike Gorth says in the coming days we will declare sanctions on Russia. Very nice. Good luck. Shabby says, if you were to make a museum in Aeternia, what would it be showcasing? That's a great question. So I think it would showcase a number of things. One, I would like to get more like art developed in Aeternia. We have some stuff already, but I really want to inspire people who make music, people who do like art, digital art, stuff like that. Because those would be the easiest things to put up and to show. You know, we can show different music by different people and play them and say, these are Aeternians who made this. We can show people's art hanging up in like a gallery. We can show them hanging up in Aeternian homes. We can also, once we have that piece of land, we can start to just show off things that are on that land. We can show off our flag that is still used as Aeternia's primary flag, which was given to us by Master Stephen Vince of the House of Treasure. Master Vince of the House of Treasure gave us our first very beautiful, very nice Aeternian flag, which you guys have probably seen in the background of some videos, and we would definitely show that off as a deep part of Aeternian culture. The same thing with the Aeternian seal, if you guys have seen that in some of our videos, or if you've ever purchased anything from the Imperial Market, we seal our packages with, and specifically our letters, with the Aeternian seal, the seal of the Emperor, the goodness, arrow of progress, which is on there, which is the same symbol that's on our flag. So we would show off all of that, and that's just right now. Once we have residents there, once we have more development there, we would show off our ingots right now as well, you know, the ingots that we've made, everything that's led us up to this point. We would show off milestones for the YouTube channel. We would show off the different countries that we've connected with, such as Parkistopia and remnants from that period in our history. We would show off things from Markovia, of course, and would continue to develop that way. Iron says, Yole cake. Interesting. Manu says, I don't know what your plan is, but please try not to bury yourself alive by accident. We're trying our best not to, for sure. That's the big attempt, is not to bury ourselves alive. Again, I'm going to have to add some wooden supports to this, and I'm not going to cover it. So the walls will be dug out, but then we're going to have a wooden frame, at least initially, and then we're going to cover that with a wooden top. But you'll see how it turns out. We're going to get it. I just hope by the end of this stream it's more than a hole in the ground, but it sure may not be. We will find out. But yeah, in the next day or two, I should be officially launching our Ko-Fi campaign, our coffee campaign. So if you guys want to support it, please check it out. If you look up the Empire of Aeternia on Ko-Fi, you might be able to find it already. I think it is technically live right now. And we just have a few things that are up as what they call commissions, which are how we're doing our tier system. Basically, we are going to be offering these different commissions, such as a personalized video, special video content for people who help us out and give a certain amount of money. Again, things to be developed on our land. Eventually, I'd like to create a plaque for people who donate at different tiers, of course. So again, check that out. All of that's going to be more well established as we go further along. But if you guys want to check out the initial campaign, I recommend that you do, so you can give me pointers and say, hey, this would be something I would invest in if only you had this on there. And then we could do that. We could add that in very easily. But until then, we're going to keep on trucking and digging in the ground and making our place for Aeternians to come around. Hey, digging in the hole, trying to be a mole and burrow to find a better tomorrow. Hey, one thing that's really cool about Alabama too is you can see all this nice, beautiful red clay. That's one of the things that I think will be the benefit about having land in Alabama is we have all this beautiful, beautiful red clay, and we can use that to be able to help to build not only our structures a little bit nicer and to make nice finishes on them, but also to be able to make things like pottery and stuff. Since we're going to be digging out the ground on our land anyway, those will be great resources for us to utilize for our people and for sales to you guys. Exports to the micronational community. So I'm excited to show you guys this in a second because it is almost up to my hips. This is pretty cool. We are getting very close. And as well, the part that I've been stomping on is now really flat, so we do kind of have like a little entrance way that's starting to be developed. This is pretty cool. I will say though, it's a lot of work to shovel all this out by hand. It gets you tired. So definitely make sure that if you're doing work outside, keep yourself well hydrated, bring snacks, stuff like that. Fortunately, I'm just a walk up to the house that I'm staying at, but if you were out here doing this in the middle of the forest, I would recommend you have some stuff. I am too long, and not too long, I'm probably going to go get some stuff myself, but for the time being, I wanted to show you guys progress on this thing. I'm going to continue going, though, for a little while longer. Just to talk to you guys, it is a beautiful day here. I just want to show y'all as well. I mean, you can see there is not a cloud in the sky. It is an absolutely beautiful day here. And I figured it would be a perfect time for us to be doing this. Again, you can see some of my progress I've made here. There's a little bit of dirt almost up to my hip, not quite. Once we get about that far, it should be up to my hip or past it. And this is starting to get to the point where if I was really just making like a survival shelter purely, I could lay down in here. Like I could dig this out another maybe half a foot, and I would have plenty of room to sit down in here. I'd make a little top to cover it to protect myself from rain, and I could sleep in here. It'd be fine. I could survive. But we want to do a little bit better than that. We want to make it kind of cozy. So I want to try and dig about 6 or 8 feet down and into this hillside. That way we have plenty of room to actually walk around in here. That's going to probably take another week of development, but we will have something pretty quick. And then by the time we get this one finished, we should be at time to finish our land purchase out, and then we can get a big group of people. We're hoping to get, 5-10 people out there all at once on our land actually digging this out and making these little homes. So it'll be pretty nice to see how it turns out. If we can raise enough money from you guys, we might be able to rent an excavator to do this as well, which would help us out a ton. But before we could rent the excavator, we'd have to pay some money to have a driveway installed and built on our land. The land that we're developing is 100% rural. There's no development on it thus far. So we have to do everything from getting electricity and water installed out there to getting things like a driveway put in for cars to be able to access it. So it's going to be a big, big work in progress. But slowly but surely, we are going to make it. Because as they say, Aeternia forever. Getting further and further with every swing. And then we always run into huge rocks. Goodness. Let me read some comments from you guys while I take a break. Ooh. Manu says, please try not to bury yourself by accident. We are trying our best not to. Iron says, will you make a real gift shop in the land? Absolutely, 100%. We will have a real gift shop on the land. It may be more like an outdoor stand where we would bring things out when people are there. But yes, 100%. We'll show it off to you when it gets built. Iron says, will you be a part of the Micro Olympics? I would love to be. I haven't seen too much about it. I saw there was an Instagram page for a while that kind of sported the Micro Olympics, but I hadn't heard anything about it for a long time. We are probably going to be developing different events on Aeternia's land specifically, though. So we may have some version of like a micronational games or something on Aeternian soil within the next year or two that maybe other micronations can come and participate in. If you are anywhere local to Alabama or Mississippi, Florida, somewhere like that, and you could potentially make it to our land on a big trip, let us know. Because we would love to do big events. Ella Roach says, do you believe that micronations which are located in international waters like Sealand have more of a claim than micronations of which just claim lands like their home? I feel like all of it is based on the way that someone is going about doing things. For example, I think Sealand has enough development and enough clout that they kind of just claim independence on their own. They say, we're recognized, even though their recognition is only a technicality because Britain didn't step in during one specific incident. But if they poke the bear enough, eventually Britain would intervene. The United Kingdom would intervene in what they're doing if they were breaking, international law. Definitely places like that seem to have more claim, more immediate claim, than micronations who are just claiming, say, their backyard. But that all depends on where they're going. Sealand seems like it has kind of stopped. It said, we've done enough. We have proven ourselves to be plenty independent enough. Now we're just going to kind of rake in the money from that. And now we're just going to kind of develop and continue to maintain Sealand. But I would say that there are plenty of micronationalists who right now just claim their bedrooms or claim, little patches of land in other countries that eventually want to be much more and want to continue to push for recognition until they get it from the UN. Those groups, I think, have a much higher chance of doing it because unless they decide at some point, which is very likely, but unless they decide at some point, I'm going to stop, this is good enough, then they could theoretically keep pushing it for generations and generations of people to eventually get that. That's what Aeternia hopes to do. But it all depends on the method that you're going about it in, and it all depends on how seriously you want that. For me and for Aeternia, this is a life or death struggle. This is something that is about making sure that our future generations have a stable and productive society to live in. So this is something that I am putting all of my money, all of my heart, all of my effort into to make sure that my future family has somewhere to live and somewhere to be stable in, to make sure that other people can be able to develop and grow to their full potential and realize the dreams that they want to have without feeling burdened by society and unable to do it because of a lack of social mobility, a lack of a social safety net. That being the case, we are actively trying to progress beyond that. We are actively trying to push and prove that communities like that can do very, very well for themselves. So, as of the moment, we are small, but we will get there. We're not going to stop until we do. I think that's what really determines whether a micronation has more or less, as you said, claim. Diamond says, the countdown from Countdown Channel is on 19. That's a great question. Gladio says, I don't know what the Countdown Channel is. These are all great questions. Ella Roach says, someone's got to clip and remix this. He do be dropping bars. Hey, thank you, Ella Roach. I appreciate it. Ella Roach said, also the second Elarian monarchy dispute ended in 6 days. Congrats. Ella Roach says, why shovel? Why not get a bobcat? Because I don't have the money for it. I would love to. Yes, 100%. If you guys can help us out with funding this opportunity, we would love to get a bobcat. Delani says, I've heard you guys are in tornado season. Definitely. We sure are. Diamond says, but Bruno walked in with his mischievous grin. Oh, interesting. Ella Roach says, Aeternia now, Aeternia tomorrow, Aeternia forever. Aeternia and Wallage, 2063. Absolutely, we're trying to get it. Galania says, snow destroying us in Michigan. There was snow here yesterday. It went from being like in the 60s to then being in like the 20s yesterday, and now it's back in like the 50s. So it's been crazy for us. Good luck in Michigan. I imagine it's feet of snow, whereas we just had a little bit kind of blanketing the ground. Iron says, will there be a public pool? Public in the sense of, and again, I don't know if that'll be public like right away on this small piece of land that we get, but if we decide to have something like that, sure, we might establish a pool there, maybe. If we did, it would be public to our residents. It wouldn't be public to everybody in the community, because uh, we specifically want it to be an Aeternian community. We want people to live there and people to benefit from it like that. Now, that's not like a gated community where you have to be so wealthy in order to be there. You just have to be a dedicated Aeternian citizen to be approved for residency. So it'll be public in the sense of open to all Aeternians, but not public in the sense of open to anyone to just walk onto our land and use. Sure. Ella Roach says pools closed. Potentially, to some people, it sure could be. But as of right now, it's much too cold to be going for a swim. At least to me. Maybe some of you guys are polar bear Olympians, but I would not go swimming right now in this weather. I feel like this is a testament to grinding at just about anything, micronationalism included, but it's a lot. It's a lot to do a little bit, but every single time you take a shovel out, every single time you move a little bit of dirt, you can see the progress being built. It's slow and it takes time, but this is how dreams are made. This is how things are accomplished, where people want overnight successes, people want things that are going to be, started today and achieved tomorrow, but this is a real testament to, if you want to build something that in the long term is really going to be great and is really going to stand the test of time, it does take time. And we're here developing this, we're here making something that's hopefully going to help a lot of people. Not this particular one, again, this is on someone else's private land, but this is going to help to pave the way for our future Aeternian settlements. So one day at a time, we're getting this, and we're making it more and more livable with each shovel of dirt that we remove. The walls of this are very sturdy. Like, they have a ton of rootage in them and a ton of rocks. So unless I go and break down parts of the wall, and I really have to dig at it, the dirt here is very, very solid now that we're this deep. But that being the case, there is absolutely a ton of opportunity to make this thing really, really stable. I mean, my plan is to go in when we have these on Aeternian land and actually dig it out, put some rebar reinforcement, and then concrete the whole thing up. That way it's really, really stable. Even something like an earthquake or a tornado or whatever wouldn't even shake it. And because our land is on an incline, we don't have to worry about flooding these little homes. We can have the runoff just move around the homes. We have to design it that way, but the land use, or the land shape, the geography, geology, I guess. No, geography, I guess. The terrain helps us to be able to make those kinds of improvements. We are working with the geography, I guess. Topology, there we go. We're working with the topology in mind. It's interesting. Now the part that I'm standing at is the more shallow part. This part that I've been digging at is significantly deeper. When I get a little more cleared out, I want to show you guys. One thing here now, I'm trying to get a big rock out of the way. There we go. Another big rock. So again, if you guys want to make this digging a little bit easier on me, you could always go to our Ko-Fi page and support us. You could always go to our Patreon and support us monthly. Ella Roach says he needs an incentive to make others join, of course. Absolutely. Thank you, Ella Roach. Ella Roach said it's finally getting the means to get its own materials for the star pins. Congratulations. Ella Roach said good progress. Thank you, Ella Roach. Aeternia forever. And may Ella Roach prosper. Iron says, what happens if USA wants to take the land back? Also, North Korea might hire you to do independent riots. We don't work for other people. We're not going to be contracted by other governments. Certainly. As well, we want to be friendly with the United States. We have no ill will toward the United States. We're wanting to recruit people from the United States, so we certainly don't want to be infringing on anything there. So if the U.S. wanted to take the land back, it'd be weird because we're not saying, hey, this isn't a part of your country anymore, we're keeping it or whatever. This is land that Aeternians are occupying within the United States to be able to further our goals. Eventually, we want to develop land that is external to the United States, that isn't in any country. But as of right now, we're just going to have our residencies within land that is owned by Aeternia legally within the United States. So the land that we're purchasing, which will be finished by the end of this month, is not something that we're just sticking a flag in the ground on. I am putting all of my money, literally draining my bank accounts to zero in order to purchase legally the deed to that land. So I will have my name on that deed and will own the land officially. That is the point of this, to be able to say, now that I legally own this land, nobody can take it from us, nobody can tell us we can't develop it. We are going to be putting people and businesses on it and actively having them act as representatives for the empire. Manu says, have you seen that kind of videos where a couple of guys chose a spot in nature in the middle of nowhere and start to build structure with small primitive tools? I love those videos, and that's something that inspires this, absolutely. Again, seeing those people develop and do such cool things, of course, we have to make those structures more permanent for our population, but as of right now, that's exactly what this is. It is the start to building something very primitive for survival. A lot of those are called like survival builds or something like that, or like bushcraft builds. This is very similar, and this is exactly the point. We are trying to expand based on our absolute necessity right now. Eventually, once we get more complex tools and technology, we can of course build a lot quicker and a lot more nicely, but right now our building is strictly for survival, for building something on that land for us to live in, to be able to start getting electricity and water and internet access out there. But it all starts with requiring a structure. So that's what we're getting. Step 1, develop the structure. Step 2, get resources to the structure. Step 3, profit off of and expand the structure. And slowly but surely, I keep having my voice crack like I'm 14 years old. Slowly but surely, expand and prosper. Build the empire of our dreams. Big rock. Okay. So now, we have a huge mound of dirt behind us. Dang. Stuff's falling back in my hole. We have a huge mound of dirt. We've been making a lot of progress. Continuing to dig out. And earlier, when the stream first started, this hole was maybe half this size. And now the depths that we are reaching, I think, are quite impressive. Now check this out. Pretty much waist height right here. I mean, this shovel is about like that. You know, if we come right here, yeah, that's pretty close to waist height right there. I can sit down in this thing and be pretty much hidden. We're getting real close, I'm telling you. We got to dig this out a little bit more, get a little more depth in for us, get a little bit more expansion out into the mountain, into this mound, I guess, this hill. And we will have something sincere that we're working with. We're getting real close here. I'm impressed by how far we've come in just today's stream, honestly. What do you guys up to? Let's see. Diamond says, hello gentlemen, war heroes, and Olympians, welcome to Aperture Science Innovators. Lenny says, our micronation plans on making our own stuff so we're not dependent on another country. Agreed. Self-reliance is really important. That's also why Aeternia develops all of its own stuff for the imperial market. Ella says, 1 leader, many nations. Hey! Lenny said, what happens if USA wants to take land back? Look at the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Yeah, a good example of it. We don't want to fight anybody, though. Iron says, ask your friends to help with digging. Absolutely. That's going to be the whole point. Right now, I'm just doing this for the stream and to help kind of get my thoughts out about how I want to do this. So I don't want to tire everybody else out with it. But once we have our land purchase and we have our deed signed, we're going to be getting a large number of people to come out and help us with those, because those will be Aeternia's actual living quarters for a while. So yes, we will 100% have a lot of people coming out to help us with those. And if you want to see those, you should definitely support us, because some of that will be content that we explain to you all and just have open, but some of that content is going to be specific to people who help us to invest in our land. So if you want special content, make sure to go either support us on Patreon or support us on Ko-Fi, where we're going to be launching our campaign pretty much now. Like, we have it out. If you guys want to go follow our campaign, it would mean a lot. If you guys want to share it, you can show it off to other people, and that helps a lot. As well, liking the video does help to spread the word about it. So what I'll do, once I go back inside after I dig a little more here, I will go out and I will link the Ko-Fi link in the description so that you guys can come back and check it out if you want to. And I will also share it on our Discord and our Instagram and everything else if I can. So definitely try and keep up with us over the next week or so as we continue to launch and try and develop more and more for this. I'm actually going to do more to dig out this little section right here. Because a lot of this is just mud now. Yeah. part of it's difficult too, because it's not just, the pulling the dirt out, it's also breaking the dirt up for it to be soft enough and mixed enough to actually pull out. So there is a significant amount of work that goes into this, but it's all one day at a time. And if you asked me this time last year if I would have been digging holes in the ground for Aeternians to live in, I would have thought you were crazy. But sure enough, here we are. We're making progress and achieving our goals, one day at a time. Oh, I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so proud of what we've done. Thank you all, sincerely. This is truly incredible. Something that I have dreamed about for years and years, stayed up at night thinking about, hoping would one day become a reality. And you guys are making it happen. Even just by watching this, even just by liking and supporting the video, it shares it, it helps it, so that people understand what we're doing. Again, like other people have said, there are plenty of people who think micronationalism is crazy. It's just this far out idea, this completely unheard of thing that doesn't make any sense. But when you start to look at the individual people who are doing it, when you start to see their progress and their development, you start to see the humanity in that, and you start to see the reasons why people want to develop these things. And so I am proud to have had you all follow me on this journey, and I am so thankful for that. So yeah, I hope this workout can continue to be a testament of how much I care about Aeternia and how much I want this to succeed. And I really do want the people who become our first citizens, our first residents in Aeternia, I should say, our first residents to really be special people, to be people who are dedicated, who really want to help this grow and help this to develop. So if you want to do that, if you think you might be a good candidate, please reach out at eternianempire@gmail.com. Of course, be 18 or over, be an adult, and let us know. We have some citizens that have been helping us out for a long time who've always been interested, so we're probably going to give the first slot or two to them. But people's lives change, things happen. So if any of those people can't, who are first up on the list, can't make it, we will be looking for other people to fill these spots. So definitely apply, definitely hit us up if you're interested, and just inquire. We don't have an official application for residency yet, but that's going to be something that's developed very soon. So as we continue to grow and develop, please keep us updated with what your needs are and what your interests are as micronationalists, as individuals, as people interested in becoming a part of the empire and connecting to us. Whether you want to reach out as nations who are attempting to benefit off of the land that we will have and create some kind of trade for it, for land use, for development on it, or whether you are an individual, somebody who's wanting to reside in Aeternia and said, hey, cheap rent sounds good to me, please let me know. I'm thinking of charging people, again, these are very basic things. I'm not going to charge anybody anything or even have anybody live out here. When we get our land, I'm not going to have anybody live out there until we have running water, until we have a septic tank system for people to use the bathroom, until we have consistent electricity out there. We're not going to have anybody out there until that point. But that being the case, once we do have all that, our first dwellings are probably going to go for about $50 a week. So that's like $200 a month, pretty much. And that's significantly cheaper than here. Tiffany and I's last apartment that we moved out of went from like $875 a month to like over $1,000 a month, and that's like low end, like average apartments here. Like those are like not good apartments at all. So hopefully this will be very reasonable for people, and people will be excited to invest. And that's what I hope for. I really want to build a productive community out here. Also, someone said I was spitting bars. I do have just a rap YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys know that, but I have a channel called Winslow that's actually connected to this channel. If you want to hear some of my rap stuff, I do have a few things out there. I actually have new music that I want to post at some point, but with everything being busy, so busy here, it's been not only on the back burner, on the bottom of my priority list, but it's been just off of the priority list for months and months and months. But at some point, I would love to pursue that passion and to be able to post more music on YouTube. So if you guys like it and that's something you're interested in seeing, some Aeternian music, please go check out my Winslow channel and subscribe. We only have like maybe 20 subscribers. Like we have very few subscribers. So if you guys like rap music, if that's something you're interested in, there is an emperor of a micronation who does rap. And you can check that out. Also, we have 14 likes. Thank you guys. Y'all are helping to spread this around the globe. One shovel at a time. One shovel equals one like. Equals one more inch of dirt that we move toward Aeternia's future. Goodness. Going to be a lot of rocks. Yeah. Getting more of these rocks. Hey, 10 viewers, 15 likes. Y'all are killing it on this view to like ratio. Thank you guys. As well, this is the slow and steady progress that it takes to build a country. In case you've ever wondered. I saw people talking today on Twitter all about, hey, 12 viewers, 15 likes. If you guys can like it and help this reach all around the globe, it does mean a lot to let people know that Aeternia is struggling, but we are making it. Every day we're trying to grind for this. Thank you guys. Saw people talking the other day on Twitter about how there's so many micronations that show up and then just disappear. And people were wondering, what it is that makes micronationalism so common to that. Why is it that all these micronations exist for a year or less and then disappear? They seem so excited, they seem so interested in pursuing everything, and yet they fall apart. Why is that? Well, in my expertise, as little of it as there is, I would say that I think the reason for that is because micronationalism is not a sprint. It's this long haul thing that for years people may ask you what the point of you doing it is. Like digging a big stupid hole in the ground. People are going to ask you, why are you digging a big stupid hole in the ground? But the benefit of doing that, once you get it done, is something that is more beneficial than they could have possibly imagined. It's something that allows for that future that you've been planning in your mind, potentially for years and years, to slowly come true. And it's hard, and every step of the way feels harder and harder. So there are plenty of people, of course, who are going to hit rocks, and who are going to hit breaking points, and who are going to hit points where they're tired, and going to hit points where there's nothing else that they can do. They've exhausted all their money, they've exhausted their time, they've exhausted their friends' interests, and they're done. But it's about you pursuing it. There's so many micronations that are run by one person, and that is because, at the end of the day, it's you who cares about this. It's you who defines what it is that you're doing, and it's you who makes what your nation is great or not. So, that being the case, I say keep digging. If you are somebody who truly wants this, keep doing so. But if not, voice squeak like a 14-year-old. If not, that is something that you 100% should be aware of. This is hard work. This is a lot of work for a little bit of progress over many, many years. If it is valuable to you, if it is necessary for your survival, you will do it. If not, you should join another nation and help them to reach those goals faster. Because just like you said, you should have some of your friends out here digging with you. 100%. We should have other micronationalists who aren't trying to start their own micronations with one or two people who are just kind of hanging around and having fun. You should be trying to help other people who are doing it for their family's survival. If you are interested in micronationalism, if you are an incredibly brilliant person, like I know all of you out there are, who are developing these nations, who are planning all of these logistical systems, who are developing all these law systems, who are trying to create marketing campaigns online to promote countries that you yourself aren't even as invested in as you'd like to think you are, you should 100% join other people who are doing it as a literal fight for their survival. Micronationalism is hard. Anybody who wants to start a micronation should have the right and opportunity to do so, but not all micronations are created equal. Not everybody who designs an idea for a country is going to stick with that plan simply because people's lives change, their needs change. But for people who have no other choice, this is what they are doing to survive. Myself, I am doing this as a way to provide for my family in the future during a very, very uncertain time in American history. And in economic uh, terms, this is something that is very scary for me. And this is something that is a big, big risk for me. So I don't think everybody should create micronations. I think people should support micronations who are really, really trying to test their mettle against the world. But if you are somebody who is truly passionate about micronationalism, please find a good one to join. If you are starting one yourself, please show this grind. Show yourself digging in the dirt to slowly achieve what it is that you want to. Because when people ask you why it is that they should care that you're building your own country, you show them this toiling. You show them this track record of you digging in the dirt to get what it is that you need done. And until you can do that, you can't say that your nation is more important or more worthy than anyone else's. That you have any reason that anyone should give you money or time or effort when you yourself aren't putting it in. But when you are giving everything you have to something that isn't just a love, but is a necessity for your survival, the game changes. Something switches. And you will do anything to make sure that it happens. So believe in yourself, and eventually you will get it. And please help us in any way you can, even if just by sharing this video and this channel. Because somewhere down the line, that like, that share, just talking to people about it, may make the difference between someone giving us $1. That dollar may not seem like much, but it's one less dollar that I have to worry about feeding myself or my family with, and that I can put directly toward helping Aeternia. You lighten the load with every view, with every like, with every subscriber. You make this possible, and we have to keep pushing, because even though this community is monumentally supportive, even though this community is one that has been small and close-knit since the beginning, we're at a breaking point. We're at a point where this is huge now. We are investing in sincere gains on the terms of actual populations that we're trying to develop. And so if this is something that you want to see continue, we got to find a way to make it bigger and better. And thanks to you all, we're one step of the way there. We got a lot to go. There's a lot of steps that I don't know the answers to right now. But I do know I'm happy to take every single step, even the ones that are uncertain, right along with you guys, on the front lines, ready to do whatever I have to make sure that Aeternia works. When I say Aeternia forever, I mean Aeternia forever. That was something that Richard Taylor came up with for us, started saying it, and became kind of his motto. and adopted to our national motto as well. Eternia Forever is something that means that we're not giving up, we're not slowing down. Our arrow of progress means the same thing and shows that one way or the other, we are doing something incredible. And it's thanks to you all. Again, we have 12 viewers. We had 14 a second ago, 10 now. Please like the video. Thank you guys so much. And my phone is getting near death. We're at 12% right now. So I'm going to keep going for just a minute longer, and then we're probably going to have to stop. But this is step one. Right now, we're digging the hole. And you may not see much progress, but it's a start. Next stream that I bring you guys out here, we may have a roof. We may have it dug to the point where I can stand up in it. Because we're on our way. With every shovelful, with every axe hit, Aeternia becomes more and more established. One day at a time. One shovel at a time. Get it. Okay. Might be time to show you guys some progress again. Ooh. Multiple things. Manu said, it's just interesting to me. That's the power of two people with primitive tools and a good plan. This stream reminds me of that because it's just you with a shovel right now. 100% Manu, and we're on our way. Manu says, and from that point on, what decides the progress you'll make is with that is determination. I completely agree. Diamond says, Gypsy drama is so boring. What should I watch? This. You should watch this. Also, 17 likes. Thank you, guys. Gore says, Gorthian Alliance has just had a meeting about sanctions on Russia and Belarus. Congrats. Let me know how that goes. Galania says, how do you expand the land? Like, if you bought an acre, do you just stay with an acre? Or, well, it depends on the money. So, right now we're going to be buying about 3 acres. That's a significant amount of land for us to start out with, and again at a fairly reasonable price for us, at an affordable price, I should say. It's still killing us to do it, but we're taking the risk and we're going to do it. So 3 acres of land. That should give us at least, 2 or 3 people can live there comfortably. And then in addition to that, and to have some industry there, in addition to that, we're going to be saving up money to buy our next piece of land. Ideally, we'd like to buy land that's right next to us, but the property values could vary dramatically. So we could, have purchased this land for a good few $1,000s, but then, the land next to us may want $100,000 for their piece of land. So more than likely, we'll be buying pretty scattered out land, undeveloped land, and just uh, trying to go from there. But it'll be all about the money that we can make. That's why we're trying to set up industries. That's why we're doing our metal melting. That's why we're doing technological stuff with our Covia and automation stuff. We are going to be trying to take what we have in that 3 acres and get enough money to purchase more land in the next year, hopefully, or the next year after that. Have by the time that land is 5 years old, to hopefully have 2 or 3 times the land that we start out with. So it'll probably be scattered, but we'll want to have it in as local an area as possible to just keep expanding. Manu says they have something called the prestige system to let people help with different stuff. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Diamond Coin. We sure do. Iron Sharpens Iron Fitness says, what's the emoji flag of Aeternia? We actually have it on our Discord. If you want to check out our Discord, Iron, we have the Eternian flag on there. It is the arrow of progress, which is an arrow with a circle around it, and then we have a purple and white flag. Purple on top, white in the middle, purple on bottom. Diamond says, they don't have an emoji, unluckily. No, we don't, but we do have one on our Discord. Manu says, I'm in the thing and I make a video for the channel. I'd like to improve my skills before I do other stuff, though. Yes, absolutely. And I appreciate that, Manu. We actually want you to keep creating videos if you have the time and ability, because it helps us a ton. Every single time I do more and more with this, your help in the channel helps us to not have to spend as much time doing so. We can focus on other things. Tiffany's out here. Hey, Tiff.
My parents need help moving my sister's stuff out of their apartment.
Can do.
So I gotta go.
Okay. Well, it sounds like I've been called away to other duties. Tiff, could you do me a favor? Could you fill me in this hole before we leave? Could you back up a little bit? Thank you. We're in the hole. And we did it, and we made progress for the day. As Tiffany said, I have to go and help out and do some stuff, but I will be back soon. We will be continuing to make progress. And if you want to help us out, please reach out to us either Discord, Twitter, Instagram, our email at eternianempire@gmail.com. We're doing this. We're getting a land purchase, and we're making progress. So thank you all very much, and I will see you next time. Peace, everybody.